What do you get when you cross Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sailor Moon, and one of Atlus's wildly popular Persona games? You get a movie like this.
Eko Eko Azarak, Eko Eko Zamerak, Eko Eko Kerunonos, Eko Eko Aradia.
Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner Gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're looking at Shimako Sato's Japanese chiller, Wizard of Darkness. Released in 1995, Wizard of Darkness feels a bit like Japan's riff on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It follows a young witch named Misa Kuroi as she fights evil while still dealing with the rigors of high school. It actually predates Buffy, having first appeared in manga form back in the 1970s, but the two series have a sort of similar trajectory. Like Buffy, Misa Kuroi has had a comic book, a movie series, a TV show, and video game entries. Wizard of Darkness is the first installment in the series. It's also one of the rare Japanese genre films to be directed by a woman. But just how gory will these high school hijinks and supernatural shenanigans be? Let's get to the gore and find out. The film opens with a quote from Paradise Lost, so right off the bat we know this is going to be literary. Then it jumps over to this scene of Emperor Palpatine. Man, Japanese Star Wars is weird. The next cut takes us to downtown Tokyo, where this lady's running to get a copy of the new Dragon Quest game before they sell out. Out of my way, filthy otaku. She's being chased. Maybe she'll run into that lady from the opening of Guinea Pig, Flower of Flesh and Blood. Anyway, back at the Sith Council, the ritual is underway. Fingers crossed that this is where they revive Darth Vader. Can you imagine zombie Vader? Man, I think someone set the subtitles on my copy of this movie to gibberish. Back in our main movie, this lady's now running down a deserted alley. I've watched a lot of horror movies, and I'm comfortable saying this is probably a bad idea. Then, just when she thinks she might be safe, this Sith Lord uses the power of the dark side to force toss this steel beam right through her head. I guess she didn't steel herself for that blow. Then it's time for a little exposition. Wait, I thought they did this with a text crawl and John Williams on the soundtrack. So basically, the Sith Council here is completing some occult ritual. 13 sacrifices, blood to clean the sanctuary, reviving Satan, you know, the usual stuff. And now, the next step of the whole thing is to make a knight of Kylo Ren. This must have been a work print version. They haven't added in all the effects for his lightsaber yet. After some ominous jibber-jabber about a woman no one wants as an enemy, we jump to the Sailor Moon Academy. And of course, it wouldn't be a Japanese film without some creepy dude groping a young woman. This school should probably just invest in one of those metal detector wands. When he's done copping a feel, he stops the new girl, Misa Kuroi, the star of our film.
Oi, omae mirai kao da na. Namae wa?
Kuroi Misa.
If you guess she's the girl those cultists don't want to piss off, give yourself a screenwriter's credit. We then head inside, where it's like a live-action Persona game as everyone works to increase their social links. Japanese Xander Harris here is already working the case. He's connected all the dots from the crime. You'll never guess what it makes.
Hora, ごぼう製だ.
Dun dun dun. But wait, there's more.
この中心に.
Too bad this was made in 1995. This dude could have been the king of YouTube creepypasta.
召喚のための魔法陣だと思う。つまり悪魔を呼び出すためのものさ。
See what I mean? Honestly, we all went to high school with a dude like this. He had a book on tarot cards, listened to a lot of Bauhaus, and had a notebook full of Anton LaVey and Aleister Crowley quotes. He may not be the Wizard of Darkness of the title, but he's definitely the Wizard of Dorkness. Class eventually gets started and everyone gets to meet Misa Kuroi. Well, this is kind of awkward. After class, Misa gets the spooky school tour. This is the sealed-off room where a teacher allegedly committed suicide. Okay, come on, next I'll show you something really scary. The boys' locker room. Later, in the locker room, Mizuki starts giving Misa the lowdown. Turns out the gropey teacher isn't the only perv on staff.
それから担任の白井先生、あの人女の子が好きなのよ。どうしたの倉橋さん。倉橋さん
That'll teach you to gossip, young lady. Rather than run and get help, Misa here starts doing the YMCA or something. Then she beelines for help, or to Freddy Krueger's boiler room. Look, I'm no fire marshal, but I have to think leaving all these burning candles unattended is a serious code violation. Misa finds this creepy voodoo doll wrapped with human hair. Ah, just as I suspected, split ends. She really needs a better conditioner. Back upstairs, Mizuki starts brushing Misa's hair. Clearly this is a vocational school.
この学校で誰かおまじないとか魔術なんかに詳しい人っている？
No, sorry, I think you're thinking of Hogwarts. Misa then takes Mizuki to the basement, so she can show her this sweet new movie maniac's mummy action figure. She then asks Mizuki to tell her if she hears any weird rumors.
例えば幽霊が出るとか誰かが魔術を使ってるとか。
Or even if there's gonna be a pop quiz in chemistry tomorrow. The next day, this dude's trying to pick her up. Hey baby, I heard you're into magic. Meet me under the bleachers and I'll show you my wand. Fortunately, her wing girl Mizuki comes to the rescue. She's got rumors to share.
噂があったら教えてって言ったでしょ。今から呪いの儀式をするっていう人たちがいるの。
Well, that feels a bit on the nose, but okay. These guys are casting a spell to make the gropey teacher suffer, but this voodoo doll isn't the same as the others. Amateurs. Look, you guys suck at this. This is the kind of doll you need. After they goad Misa into showing her skills, she takes the doll and bursts into a karaoke version of that Bellstars Eko Eko song.
Eko Eko Azarak, Eko Eko Zamerak, Eko Eko Kerunonos, Eko Eko Aradia.
And with the doll finished, this meeting of the Midnight Society draws to a close. Later on, holy shit, that curse actually worked. Or Mr. Numata just ate some bad Taco Bell for lunch. Misa's now a celebrity witch, much to Xander here's dismay. Hey man, I summoned a demon once. Oh yeah, which one? Your mom. Sick burn. After that, it's time for some exposition. These guys are giving us some Misa backstory.
人が死ぬって言うんですけどね。まさか。いや、あの子が何かをしたっていうんじゃなくて、前の学校でもその前に。
Meanwhile, Mr. Numata's like, that's the last time I ever order nachos Belgrande with extra beans. He might have a raging case of irritable bowel syndrome, but that's not going to stop him from peeping on this makeout sesh between the homeroom teacher and her student. Hey man, creeper's gonna creep. Also, I don't think this is what the school board had in mind when they approved their anatomy and physiology curriculum. So, director Shimako Sato says the lesbian sex scene wasn't her idea, but that the producers basically insisted she include it. Sounds pretty plausible to me. Anyway, I'm gonna skip past all the bumping and grinding because this channel is called Sick Flicks, not Sex Flicks. The next day, everyone's acting weird. Turns out Mr. Numata was in a tragic traffic accident while making a run for the border, and everyone thinks Misa's curse caused it.
沼田先生が昨べ交通事故にあって重体なんですって。
Shindo figures this is as good a time as any to make his move for Misa, but he gets spellbound to the friend zone. Later that day, a group of students, including Misa, have to stay late to retake a test. Man, look at the bling on that watch. They must pay teachers a fortune in Japan. While everyone's waiting to be excused after the test, this weird bell starts going off. I think that means it's finally time to start the killing. The bell stops, and now the number 13 is written on the chalkboard.
悪魔の筋だ。
No, that's 666. If you guess 13 is the number of students retaking the test, give yourself a screenwriter's credit. Most of the class takes this as a sign that it's time to dip out, but as the fellas try to leave, they wind up right back inside. Don't look now, but there's more voodoo afoot. This student is trapped in the restroom and stuck in a stall. Man, she must have really dropped a load to clog a toilet like that. Maybe lay off the fiber for a while. Also, this movie is really big into bathroom stuff. First Mr. Numata, now this. Shindo and the gang then alert the ladies that they're trapped in the school. This girl goes to check on her friend. Hey, did you fall in there? Turns out she actually falls out, dead, when her friend opens the door. That's a pretty tame kill. While everyone takes off to see what's happening, we see the number on the board is now 12. Is this that new math everyone keeps ranting about? Then they rush in and find a dead Chie. Poor Chie. She died as she lived. On the can. These kids aren't total morons. They head for the teacher's lounge to call for help. But apparently the school isn't paying the phone bill because they can't get a line out. Trapped, Mizuno does his best Mick Foley impression, delivering multiple chair shots to this window. But either he's really weak or that's unbreakable glass. My money's on the former. He's convinced all of this is Misa's doing, but then the whole room starts shaking like there's an earthquake. Half the group gets trapped inside. Misa grabs her dagger, and man, this school is really lax on the security apparently, and then starts another spell. While she's doing that, everyone in the room is dying. How do we know? Because the blackboard numbers keep changing. And those blood spatters kinda give it away too. The door finally opens, and whatever's in there is making this dude toss his lunch. Come on, movie, I want to see it too. We do finally get to see it, and it's like a slaughterhouse. We're gonna need a hand cleaning this up, so thank God there's like 10 of them just laying around in there. Everyone still alive reconvenes in the classroom. So, what did you guys want to be when you grew up? Mizuno here is still convinced Misa's responsible for all of this. Then everyone figures out the number on the blackboard thing. Try to keep up, guys. We figured this out like 10 minutes ago. After some squabbling, they make the always wise decision to split up. Shindo and Mizuki are Team Misa, while all these Star Trek Red Shirt characters head off with Mizuno. I'm sure this is gonna work out great. Famous last words. Team Misa heads for the roof, where Shindo is gonna rappel out of the building. Man, did this dude just watch Demons 2? Also, where the hell did they randomly find this rope? They get to the door, but it's locked. But luckily, Misa's spell gets them through, right back into the classroom. Mizuno's gang actually gets a window to open. Huzzah, they're saved. Oh wait, the red-robed cultist just let her open it so they could decapitate her with it instead. What do you think her yearbook quote would have been? I'm going with, I always strive to get ahead of my classmates. Everyone takes off, screaming like banshees, but the dudes leave this girl behind. This guy's running with his shoes untied, and our cultist is clearly into practical jokes as they use the voodoo doll to tie the laces together. Hope you have a nice fall. Misa's group picks up the girl straggler, then heads back to the classroom, where Mizuno is relieving some stress by doing some chalk sketches. What do you think? I've seen better. Turns out this is a pentagram that's going to save them all from the curse. He's a bad host, though. He invites everyone in but Misa. She's like, fine, it's a pretty crappy pentagram and I didn't want to come in anyway. Mizuki and the other girl abandon ship, leaving just Misa and Shindo out on their own. Is this where he finally escapes the friend zone? Maybe, but first Misa has to have a nervous breakdown. She can't use her powers, she got all these people killed. Come on, pull it together, woman. Whoa, easy there, Shindo. That won't get you out of the friend zone, but it will get you an assault charge. Misa's like, dude, I'm so gonna turn you into a dung beetle for that. Then we get this soap opera moment, complete with cheesy music. Back in the pentagram, the chalk number has gone down by 2. Is this the end of Shindo and Misa? Of course not. A stiff wind blows in out of nowhere, scattering that chalk pentagram like it was a trailer park in a tornado. Meanwhile, Shindo and Misa are going into the ventilation system like they're a Japanese John McClane. Don't look now, but Mizuno's possessed, and he's about to slice up Mizuki and her friend like they're a loaf of bread. Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs. While crawling through the ducts, they come to this obvious map painting of the outside. Seriously, I've seen Bob Ross landscapes that are more realistic than this thing. Mizuno finishes off the second girl, and we get a blood geyser that would have been perfectly at home in Lone Wolf and Cub or Tokyo Gore Police. Back in the vents, Misa gives Shindo her locket of human hair. Here, take this. The hair from all the people who've died around me will totally keep you safe. While Shindo's off getting the tool, Mizuno shows up. But somehow, Misa and Shindo are reunited, and it feels so good. But look out, Shindo's here. Guess that locket didn't work so well after all. But Mizuno's not done. He then pulls a Peter Neal and slashes his own throat like this is the end of Tenebrae. So, by my count, that's 12 dead. One short of the 13 we heard about back at the start of the movie. Except, someone's still screaming. Misa investigates, and man, the home ec room is looking really weird. Here's the 13th victim, poor Kazumi. Guess they didn't need virgin blood for this ritual. I mean, I'm just saying. While Misa's distracted, this jump scare sneaks up on her. But Misa's cat-like reflexes save the day. Then, in the least surprising reveal ever, we learn the teacher is the cultist and that Misa is the final sacrifice. After some completely unconvincing combat, I mean, are they fighting or getting ready to make out? The teacher ends up on the wrong end of that axe. Look, I asked you nicely to leave me alone. With the teacher dead, that should be the end of the movie, right? Not so fast. We've still got like 15 minutes left. Misa heads back to the classroom and wait a minute, Mizuki's still alive? Whoa, she's not only alive, but she's looking to get out of the friend zone too. Don't look now, but there's still a 1 on that chalkboard. Mizuki's like, now that the teacher's dead, I'm gonna take a stab at resurrecting Lucifer myself, as she drives this dagger right into Misa's gut. Turns out Mizuki is in charge of all these supernatural shenanigans. Didn't see that coming. And just in case you weren't convinced Mizuki's evil, here's her horror movie villain laugh. After a lot of jibber-jabber, Mizuki shows Misa the voodoo doll she made of her. Yeah, remember that hairbrushing scene like an hour ago? Turns out it was important. And just in case you don't believe me, the movie's gonna show it to you again to refresh your memory. Thanks, movie. After all that exposition, Mizuki blows on the doll, which creates a stiff breeze that rips Misa's clothes. Because of course it does. Then we watch as Misa basically gets Thanos out of existence with some dodgy looking CGI. Guess they couldn't afford After Effects. With Misa gone, we can finally get this party started. Lucifer does show up and merges with Mizuki, which probably explains why her voice is so deep. That or she's coming down with a virus. But what's this? Something appears to be going wrong. Mizuki's face splits open in one of the most awful CG effects I've ever seen. I mean, come on. This makes a PlayStation 1 game's graphics look like a Rembrandt. If you thought Misa was really dead, no screenwriter's credit for you. She rematerializes from this weird pentagram, and even her clothes are fixed. There must be an amazing tailor in that other dimension. Then she gets the last word.
だから無理だと言ったのよ、水木。
Well, yeah, you did, but do you mind maybe explaining why it didn't work? No? Okay. She finds Shindo dead up on the roof. Hope you don't mind, but I need to add a strand of your hair to my locket now. And with that, she heads off into the smoky afternoon. Well, everyone is dead. Guess my work here is done. Off to the next school. Wizard of Darkness is arguably one of the tamest films I've ever covered on Sick Flicks, but it is interesting to see a Japanese riff on the high school stalk and kill flick formula. But is there enough carnage here to get this one a respectable score on the Gore card? Let's find out. In terms of gross anatomy, Wizard of Darkness is pretty tame. We're treated to a head crushed by a steel beam, one inexplicable bathroom drowning, several slashed throats, a few mangled teenagers, and a decapitation. The effects work is fairly understated, especially compared to the other Japanese films we've covered on this channel. But aside from some dodgy CGI, they're still pretty entertaining. But there's just not enough here to justify giving Wizard of Darkness anything more than 2 barf bags out of 5. It's a cool viewing experience if you're looking for a supernatural slasher, but it's not particularly gory. Looking for an Asian film with more splatter? Then be sure to check out my review of Ichi the Killer. You'll find a link to that one here on the screen. I'll see you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.